Hey, Chloe.
Hi.
Thanks for joining me.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so tell me a little bit about yourself and kind of who you are as a clinician.
So I graduated from the University of Tennessee with my Master's of Science in Social Work, and I also got a trauma treatment graduate certificate. And since I have been licensed as a licensed master social worker, which is like an associate level of licensure, I'm working towards becoming a licensed clinical social worker, and I'm working simultaneously on my registered play therapy credential.
Yes, lots of things happening
So many things. Yeah.
at one time. So I know like today, like in the therapy world, co-regulation is a term that keeps being brought up, and we talk to parents. We talk to parents a lot about it, but can you just tell me kind of what co-regulation is?
Sure. So, it is kind of a newer term, and I think some people are familiar with the term like emotional regulation, or, a lot of times I'll hear parents say, like, they just need to regulate, they just need to regulate. And one thing about co regulation is really this idea that kiddos and even some teenagers and young adults need that external person that they feel kind of safe and trusted with to be able to support their own emotional regulation. There's lots of research that shows the impact of how our nervous systems are connected. And so part of co-regulation is really being aware as the external regulator of our own nervous systems, and then being able to support, our kiddo or whomever it is, and kind of borrowing off of that. So.
Okay. Is there any tips that you could give caregivers when they're in that moment of like a very upset child that they can do to help with that co-regulation piece?
Sure. And I want to just say, like, hearing it and thinking about it is really easy, but like when you're actually in those moments, it is hard. So
Yes.
just being aware of that, and it does take time, and it does take practice, is like a big step, and that's okay. But the first thing is, like I said, is really it takes a lot of your own self-awareness and your own self-regulation. Really being aware of, hey, how am I feeling in this moment as the adult in this little one's life? And getting yourself in a place that can then foster a sense of regulation. Just kind of like a side note, a lot of people, I think, have this idea that being a regulated person means that you're like a calm person. And that's not necessarily what it means. And part of like working in therapy with me is helping you understand that that's okay. Like, as an adult, you will get frustrated. I want you to honor that. And so that's a big piece of saying, like, hey, like, I'm frustrated right now, and it may not be the best time for me to have this conversation or try to regulate my little one. So that's a big piece of it.
Okay.
The other piece of it is what we call attunement. And attunement really looks like being aware of what you think is going on in your little one's kind of brain and body. Whether it be like the feelings that they're experiencing, or even maybe some of the things that are happening in their environment externally that are driving the kind of like internal emotions that you're seeing and experiencing and feeling.
Okay. All right. So those are very good tips. All right. Well, thank you for your help today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for talking with me.
All right. Thanks.